All right. Hello, everyone. It's Danny and Research back with yet another video. So I haven't been posting in a while, but today we are going to cover something kind of different from the other videos, and that is Europe. Okay. So on last Friday, we got a bunch of economic data, the PMIs. This is one of my most favorite data points to assess the economic situation, and we got a bunch of them. All right, we got European ones, we got a UK one, and the US one as well. Of course, some other ones as Japan and such, but we're not gonna go there. Okay. Right, and also today we got the IFO business climate, so we're gonna cover this one as well. But let me just divide the video in two parts. First of all, I'm just going to tell you what the summary is and what I think about this situation, and then we're going to go into the reports. Okay, so what we're seeing is that Europe is in a very bad situation. All of the data is showing that the European Union, and in specific the German and now the French economy as well, are very, very, very bad right now. So we're seeing signs that those economies are actually in a recession, essentially. Okay, and this is in contrast with the rest of the European Union, especially countries like Poland, like Greece, like Portugal. Those are not that bad. However, as you guys know, Germany, France, those are the biggest economies in the European Union, right? So those economies are dragging down the European market, right? Like, and by market, I don't mean the stock market. I just mean like the trade market, so to speak, like the demand and stuff. And we can see a lot of cuts in jobs. Volkswagen story, they're like cutting a lot of jobs. They're closing factories in Germany. And today we also got the news that actually, yeah, this is it. Half of the UK firms are to cut jobs. Okay, so yeah, this is very bad, and bear in mind the UK not as bad as Europe, but not great either, right? So this is in a contrast to the US, where PMIs are actually strong. They're strong, okay, especially the services PMI. It is 57, huge beat, and it's in a expansionary territory, right? In Europe, very bad data. And let me just try to explain what's happening in Germany. So Germany has relied on selling their products to Chinese consumers. That's one thing. And now, actually, the Chinese learned to make those products themselves. And they learned it good. Okay, they even have better products now. So since Germany was so reliant on the Chinese consumer, now that China is actually making their own products, and not only making their products domestically, but also actually exporting to Germany as well, they're in a very bad situation. Not to speak the connections with Russia, the Russian dependence. That's also a bad situation for Germany, and the political turnovers that we have in Germany right now. So Germany needs a big restructuring, both politically and economically as well. So this is one thing about Germany, but then again, broad. If you look at the broad picture in Europe, right, and the Trump presidency, the upcoming Trump presidency, he has, threatened to impose big tariffs in Europe. Right, this is not good for Europe, which is right now going down in their economic activity. So what we like this is not a certain thing that's gonna happen. Like we don't. It's not like we're gonna get the tariffs, because Trump is well known for saying one thing, doing another, right? Sounding very, very one way, but then just going the other direction. So I think Trump is going to use those tariffs as a weapon to, have leverage with those other countries to make them do what he wants them to do, right? And if they don't agree, then he's going to slam on those tariffs. Of course, this is a risk. We don't know what's going to happen. But I do think that he's not going to put like a 500% tariff in the European Union, right? Unless, of course, they don't want to do what he says, and this is he has done that already, like with the French wines and stuff. When France didn't want to import some U.S. cars or something, he just said, if you don't import this, we're just gonna stop all the import of French champagne. Not stop it, like put a unimaginable percentage of tariffs, and Macron instantly agreed. Right? Okay, so well. Now that I told you this, let us go into the report. So, first of all, let's start with Germany. Germany, a bad read, as you already saw in the previous slide that I had. Let's just quickly read over this. German business activity falls at the quickest rate for 9 months amid renewed weakness in service sector. Not a great look. So Germany economic malaise continued in November, right? Falling for the 5th month, running at the quickest rate since February. Sustained weakness in manufacturing production, compounded by the first decrease in services activity for 9 months. Weaker demands for goods and services led to further job losses during their years. Penny more. Okay, all right. So as you can see, this is what we have here. Business expectations edged up, so that's good, but not enough to offset the other stuff. And then again, look at this. November saw the rates of input costs and output price inflation tick up to the highest for 3 months, reflecting strong price pressures. What does that mean? Think about it for 1 second. It means higher inflation. So we are seeing a weakening demand and a higher inflation. What is that called? I'll give you 1 second. It's called stagflation. This is the worst of them all. Okay. The output index is sub 50, which is contraction, for a 5th straight month. So guys, I've already told you about this so many times in the past, right? I told you Europe is very, very bad. Now, the US is great if you look at it like from a nominal perspective. I still do think that there's like a risk for recession during next year. However, in Europe there already is one, especially in the biggest economies. Right? I've told you that so many times, guys. Okay. Services business activity fell into contraction for the first time in 9 months. Okay. Finally succumbing to a sustained downturn. Finally succumbing to a downturn. And let me just tell you, the euro, if you look at the chart of the euro, let me just show that real quick. The euro is in the gutter. Okay, it's in the gutter. It's been falling so much. And it's very, very, understandable that it's falling, right? It's like, if Europe is in a recession, they're gonna need to cut rates a lot more. Who would want a euro? Now, even though I'm expecting some kind of a bounce right now, if this thing continues, I am expecting a lot more downside and maybe parity during next year. Of course, that's just an opinion. Things change, data change, right? So this is it. But there's just so many fundamentals at play for the euro that it's hard to ignore. Okay, this is the chart, especially for the manufactured PMI. You can see, look at this. It's just been straight down. You can make like a triangle right here. Like, I just hope it doesn't break to the downside. Right? Because if we get like a break to the downside, then a retest, that's gonna be very bad. Okay, let's go on. France is a big one right here, guys. French economy shrinks at the fastest pace in January. Denting business confidence. So France was not that bad previously, right? It was not that bad previously, but now, okay, a third consecutive monthly fall of business activity. Quickest since January. Weak demand, right? Renewed uptick in private sector employment. That's good. Okay, that's good. However, there was an intensification of cost pressures, inflation, stagflation. Okay, careful, guys. Right? The level of incoming New work received by private sector businesses in France slipped deeper into decline in November. New orders shrank by the greatest margin in exactly 4 years, amid a broad-based deterioration in sales performance in the industry level. Demand conditions were detrimentally impacted by a considerable slump in new work from abroad, as evidenced. Okay, geopolitical. So, yeah, right? A sharper fall in new orders. Right? Not great. The pace of depletion fastest in 4 years. Okay. So let me just look at the chart real quick. As you can see, right? Now the question is, are we gonna consolidate here and recover? I'm not so sure. Maybe, but it's not gonna be that quick, right? Or are we just gonna break to the downside? I don't know. Let's see, guys. UK. I'm gonna be quick here, guys. Sustained drop in private sector employment amid weaker business optimism and rising cost inflation. Same stuff, stagflationary. However, the UK was not that bad previously, right? You can see here, and now it's falling. Right? Private sector indicated a fractional decline, so not as bad as Europe, but then not great. Right? I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but it's not as bad as Europe. It's not as good as the US. Okay, let me just quickly. Yeah, okay. So I have not downloaded the US one. However, the US one is just great. You know, they're in expansion right now. Let's see if that lasts or not. It's gonna be interesting. All right. So the business climate index. We have this one coming out today, a few hours ago. This is for Germany. I love this one as well. Okay. Right. Let me see. It was a miss. Okay. Sentiment among companies in Germany has become gloomier. The ifo Business Climate Index fell in November to 85.7, down from 86.5 in October. This is primarily to the worst assessment of expectation for climate. German economy is floundering. Okay. In manufacturing, business climate worsened. Companies were somewhat skeptical again about the coming months. By contrast, they were slightly more satisfied about the status quo. Nevertheless, the current situation is frequently described as difficult. Orders were down. Service sector, business climate index fell significantly. Companies assessed the situation as significantly worse. Expectations were pessimistic. Index went up again in trade. This is good. Okay. You can see sustained downtrend. Not a huge downtick, but a downtrend. Alright. All indicators pointing down for Germany. So yeah, this is it pretty much. So guys, as I told you, Europe is not looking good. Now the question is, are we gonna have Europe get better? I think Germany needs to get it together, okay? And this restructuring that I'm talking about is gonna take years and years because the Germans are not used to fast and sudden changes. So we need good leadership in order for them to do that. And whether it takes 1, 2, 3, 5 years or more, we're gonna see. Geopolitical tensions not helping as well. So question now is the US gonna follow Europe, or is the US going to continue to be the strongest economy right now? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and comment on the video. See you guys in the next one.